we are initially before 20 years, so we should have a conventional wiring and conventional automation. We should have conventional wiring devices. So we should have screw type switches. So we upgraded to modular to then automation, so automate to IoT. So how the technology is developing, like, so from manual mode, so we are coming to, automation. So from this, coming to this wiring also, initially we should have conventional wiring, then conventional too, if right now we were following FRLSH, ZHFR, so almost we coming technologies, beam technology. So coming to the skills, right now the people is to upgrade, we have to train them that, regarding this, software, what software we are using for this installation of the automation. So we are right now we are having, almost every product is upgrading, like for future technologies. Coming to this lighting also, we are following the sensor lights are there, and automation, automatic lighting is there. So everything is linked with Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi or some software. So we have to train the people. So what upgraded technology is there? So we have to skill set them according to the technology upgradation.
So largely in the industry, the automation is moving very fast.
Yes.
Either you are saying smart lighting
Yes.
that is happening in there, or secure solutions that is happening in
Yeah.
there. So the wiring is coupled with some amount of hardware solution, some amount of software that is happening, and IoT that is happening.
Comparable. So we are. So how the technology is improving like that? It is safety and energy efficiency is involved in this. So and durability will mostly energy.
So from an industry perspective, is there like, just to answer ask the other question, he said talent for drone is not directly available. Drone plus data is not directly available from institutions for the industry. So in your case also, is there a talent that is directly available, or you are looking at taking some other talent and then training them in these?
What right now currently we are doing that, we company, what we do, we will conduct some meets for electricians, so for retailers, so to educate them what technology we are following. So how right now we are doing that. So in future we can do for anything.
So largely the industry is doing a lot of these awareness sessions of new technologies.
Yes.
Still not gone into the formal training institutions.
Yes.
So that is the gap that is there.
Yes.
Dr. Nagesh, probably, couple of things. One, I just picked up in terms of your expertise in GIS, which is there, and he was also talking about surveying. So how do you see it from both academia as well as you are looking at funded projects and real life projects that's happening? What's the big change that people, when they are investing into new technologies and capacity building being key, what do you see as a big change from a people perspective? While the technology is changing and real life projects need to happen, is the skills really available, and is there capacity that is there to address this change?
Good afternoon to one and all. As far as GS is concerned, gas insulated substations, humankind requires three things. The first one is the safety, second one is the reliability, and the third one is continuity of the supply. So already air insulated substations are already been present in India, but we know about that grid connectivity is being required as far as renewable energy is being concerned. So we should have a good grid infrastructure. That is, GIS will help us in this particular aspect where the continuity of the power will be restored. So all the government projects now, they are being giving only for the gas insulated substations, where gas insulated substations has got advantages that it happened to be very compact, maintenance free, and we can see like the extension is being possible both horizontally and vertically. And then the whole substation, you can just put it in this particular room and also in corridors. So this is what...
Does this change in technology to make it compact and make it more easy maintenance, does it require a different type of talent?
No, already these GIS are already, as far as industry perspective or to put it in practice, they are already been standardized. But as far as academia is concerned, we do research on the electric field studies. So the observed failures in Indian GS contest says like 30% of the failures is due to the material failures. So generally we have two types of insulation. One is a gaseous insulation, the other one is the solid insulation. So earlier GS used to use SF6 gas, but you know like this happened to be a greenhouse gas. So we now are been using green gas, that is a fluoroketane gas, and also being a blue gas, that is a combination of N2 and O2. So these are the alternatives that have been coming as far as academic research is concerned in terms of using environmental friendly gases. And coming for the material, the conductors are being kept in the enclosure and they have been supported with the spacers or insulators. In overhead line also we have insulators, but these insulator spacers, whatever that they are being there, so they should see like at the triple junction points or at the weak points, the electric field stress is being uniform and the magnitude of the electric field stress should also be less. So we are concentrating on reducing the electric field stress. That's a parameter that we take it to do a research. And then for those particular things, we are using different types of spacers like delta spacers, 63 spacers, post type spacers, bulb spacers. So that is what academia research looks like in the reduction of the electric field stress, and also to mitigate the other faults like a particle contamination and all those things. But the problem with GS are very minor, but if it takes place, it is a total shutdown of the station or maybe a transmission line.
So 30% kind of problems are going to be related to the gases, and research related to that seems to be the area of focus, problem area of focus, and how to optimize that part of it. That seems to be one problem statement in the industry.
Yeah.
Are there enough skill sets that are currently available of people who are finding alternate solutions in this space? This seems to be an higher order, more an engineering problem rather than a skills kind of an area in terms of looking at it. So I'm just trying to say, is there a larger, the industry is facing efficiency or alternate source problem?
Actually, coming for this erection point of view, it's very easy, like just how the children are going to construct the building blocks. It's so easy, like they bring all to the site and just assemble that. So the installation process is all been very much less, and the manpower required is also been less. But putting it in practice, like as you know, like SF6 gas handling is the biggest issue. Safety. So safety and all those things. So those are the issues that we need to take care. But apart from that, it's maintenance free. And then the only drawback will be it's upon cost. It's a very higher cost. That's what
understood, sir. So largely from the industry side, the problem seems to be one, new technologies that are happening, moving. Industry is probably far ahead in terms of implementation. Leads the academia or the training institution in forms of skills. That's what you have indicated. To look at practically some of the solutions, rather than trying to say this gap exists, probably if each one of you can step in and say, how can this gap be solved? Is it more knowledge that needs to be imparted? Is it more hands-on skills and training? Because everybody, we were repeatedly hearing 80% should be hands-on, but this happens only in the industry. When they are studying, it becomes 80% learning, probably 20% of actually working in a real-life integrated environment. So my question to you is, what are some solutions that are available to keep pace with this changing technology, changing knowledge requirement, changing way of learning? Because it seems to be more hands-on learning in a real-life environment. So if there are some solutions that I can start with Dr. Ravi again.
Sure,
what could be some solutions in this space that can happen?
Yes, sir. I put it in two aspects, sir. So one, as the industry person, sir, is saying, right, whenever a new technology comes in and when they are working on it, and they are making aware to their stakeholders, right? So we are, in the academia, we are training our students with the same fundamentals, some specialized trade and all. So some technologies are possible to keep in the curriculum.
What might help is if there is a real example that you can say, maybe kind of audience will also be able to appreciate that. Any specific area you can take and put across those 2 points.
Yes, sir. I say like this. We keep some 10 experiments in the lab, electrical wiring, procuring the components, something like that for an electrician. Or we say like how it will work, what are the steps to make it work. So, and anyone can say 95% they will don't fail in the lab exam because the answer is already known, right? We teach the same 10 experiments, right? A 2-point starter, how to make a 2-point starter work, right? If I have to set a frequency 50%, right? After some time I have to change it to 40%, right? If I follow the procedure, I will get the output. That we'll teach in the lab. And the same we test in the exam. When he goes for a job, when he or she goes for a job, it fails for some reason. There is no analysis part is missing here. So one thing, whatever the new thing that can be brought into the lab. So with the help of all these industry persons, with the MOUs and all, we can bring the same thing into the lab and we can train on the same module. And one important thing is, instead of a fixed procedure, that should be a test cases. So test cases are missing now, right? So we in our engineering education, what are we doing? One of our evaluation part is the hackathon, right? So we teach some lab, we teach some skilling part, and finally in the hackathon, we take the problems from the application notes given by your engineers from the industry. So we take the problems which are faced by an engineer while integrating a motherboard, right? He will make it as an application note. So we'll collect all those application notes and we give them as a problem to our students to solve them in 24 hours. Whether we get a solution, industry level solution or not, a different issue. What is happening here? The thinking is improving. So I do feel like, there should be open-ended exercises as well. The evaluation should also be changed a little from the conventional evaluation. And whenever it is possible to get a kit, a specialized kit from a particular industry where a large workforce is required, so that should be in the lab, not in the industry first.
Understood. So two things. One, you are saying bring the assessment method or make it open. So you are moving closer to real life assessment kind of an exercise.
Whatever he see in the industry, that he should foresee it.
Foresee it. The second is the simulation. Your ability to do those test cases in a simulation. So maybe Dr. Ramesh, just to ask you, because of the drone and whatever it is more outside in. Is real life assessments possible or is a simulated environment possible to really act as a solution?
Yeah. Yeah, actually it is possible. Generally, we have the wide drone services, but what happened, there are some skill shortage from the actually what is the student, what is the candidate we are getting for the employment. So what happened, as I said, we developed the one academy to train the what is the input employees. So based on our requirements, see, the candidate may be based on the agricultural engineering background or civil engineering or computer science engineering or mechanical engineering. We took all the students, we give the basic training in our academy, we put into the like a project task. So that is the one of the method, how to gap the skill. So that is the one thing. And what happened, what about, you talk about, that is, how to give the simulation. What happened for the drone flying, so we have the almost 10 days training program. In the 10 days training program, whatever the student background, doesn't matter. So we give the 3 days training program on the basic, the drone flying, drone theory, irrespective of agricultural background, irrespective of electrical, or irrespective of civil engineering. So 3 days, that is the theory training session. After that, how to fly the drone in the physical flying ground. So that is, there is some different type of softwares available. So we are giving the computer simulation. So that is the 2-day training simulation. So how to give the throttle, pitch forward, yaw right, yaw left, all the navigation. Everything it is teach in the computer simulation. So they are getting the grip on the computer simulation. So we will put them into the field, physical flying field. So he will fly the drones perfectly what our need. So it may be surveying drone or mapping drone or dropping drones, or it may be defense drones. And another one, fantastic example, that is agricultural drone. So we can give the training everything in the computer simulation, which is specific, that is based on the payload. Payload means what is the items carried by the drone apart from the flying object. So we are putting them into the actual computer simulation, make them train, and then we are giving we are evaluating the candidates, and then we are putting into our flying ground. We are giving all the, in flying ground also, There are 2-day training. Third day, we are giving the project to them, do the surveying of this 2-acre land and do the spraying of the agriculture field for this 1-acre land. So we do all the evaluation before putting into the real-time project.
Understood, sir. So solution will be probably whatever you are doing in the academy, is it possible to really do it using the simulation if it has to be done in a larger scale?
Yes, sir.
Because otherwise each industry player will be trying to do this. So is there a solution around it?
Yes. And there is one more organization to control this drone flying, that is, you know very well, DGCA, Directorate General of Civil Aviation. So they are also having the same type of syllabus for how to get the skill for the drone flying field.
Understood, sir. So just want to understand the solutions from, you said smart lighting, you said other appliances and also IoT. So how do you train, and what is the gap in the current system? What is the solution to train a lot of people in smart solutions?
So currently we are only from our stakeholders only we are doing. So coming days we will company is planning for to explore the do expos and events. So we are involved in almost all expos and events. So more number of people focus will be there. So technology, what technology the company is following. So it will be skill set for them. So that's what right now. So we have to look out for CSR, then we can support skill.
Got it.
Right.
So from your side, what could be the solution to you have indicated research areas and optimization? Is there how do you really bring those skills? The 30% problem is there, you have identified. So how do you constantly identify innovative solutions, and how do you really build solutions into a larger ecosystem, not with only few institutions?
Okay. Okay, whatever the design that is there is equally applicable for anyone. So that's what we make the design. So as far as GS has been concerned, we are looking for the reliability. So a lot of analysis is to be done here, like if you have surges, what is to be done? If you have harmonic contents, what is to be done? And if you have some other particles like loose particles, particle content, these are all the likely things that will happen regularly in any power system. So when you have such kind of a thing, any solution that you look at, you need to do an analysis for under all these effects. So for those particular things, we are going with the basic FGM technique, which is solving the problem. And then as we are, earlier we used to do analysis up to 220 kV, but as you know, like the transmission capacity is increased even to 765 kV in India. So we are doing for a higher range of voltages. So when you are going for higher values of the voltages, so definitely our bus decks, whatever it is there, should be sustainable under all these imperfections. So that is what we are doing research. So there is a lot to do in terms of putting a spacer material, in terms of identifying the environmentally friendly grasses, and then also to change the bus ducts, different types, like maybe different kinds of spacers like cone type, maybe disc type. So such kind of a spacer configurations can also be changed.
So are these like what you were saying as hackathon or probably trying to do? Do you see some of these problems being given to students so that they are more aware of these contexts and the changes in this case? Because already the design is existing. It's more improvising the design, trying to really understand how to optimize in the application. So I'm just trying to understand, is it more job creating? Is it more finding more efficiencies? Or are you auditing the system? So what kind of job opportunities or skill opportunities will exist in this GIS space?
In GS, it is not like auditing or something else. It is only a research area in GS. And then once we have some sustained design, the industry can use that directly. So that is what it happens in GS.
Understood, sir. Understood. So probably let's just kind of go into a concluding thing session in terms of looking at what do you see as an immediate in the next 12 to 18 months. If you were to look at government coming up with a policy, or they have said that, okay, every district we will try and look at skills and make some infrastructure available. What do you think should be the focus area in the next 12 months in your segment to build quality manpower? Because you want workmanship, you want quality manpower in that area, be it electrician, be it MEP, kind of people working in that area, or probably in the home appliances and smart solutions kind of an area. If you want workforce in the construction related sector, uh, what would be your, single agenda in the next 12 months?
First, it should be train the trainers. So, as we are going from the reports, right, there are tens of millions gap is there in the workforce that is required. So, if we have to, and one more point here is, by the time we implement all these things, again the technology changes. So, curriculum changes are very, very slower than the technology changes nowadays. So, first within 3 months, the trainers should be ready, and then immediately train the new workforce. The first agenda in my to be train the trainers first for the certificate, because the things are changed.
Any particular area on which you would need the trainers to
IoT,
be?
sir, IoT integration.
So IoT will be a big focus area in terms of training the
building
trainers.
modern building construction.
Building construction.
Yeah. Modern, anything, modern construction. Let it be building or a big thing like for our Amaravati.
So IoT related training in the
regarding the
modern
electrical,
construction.
yeah, IoT integration, because the systems are connected now. So we need the trainers who will train the IoT integration first, and that should be immediately particulated down.
Understood, sir. What would be your suggestion in the next 12 months in terms of building for this sector, sir? Where should they focus and what could be done at scale?
Yeah, actually what we can do now, because student already completed their graduation or post-graduation from the university or colleges. They almost spend more than 5 lakh to 10 lakh rupees. So what the requirement of the company is different. So what we can do, what is the solution? Maybe the government maybe develop some skill development center to take the graduate students. They can give them some training, like surveying, mapping. So that is one of the like a trending jobs opportunity, because the drone is developed. So there is many people, they are going for the technology oriented surveying, mapping, that is, and project monitoring and drone data processing, and these are the different type of construction related sectors. So maybe government can take some steps to give the training to the student, because instead of because student already spend money in the graduation and post graduation. So maybe government can take some initiative to give the skill oriented training.
Understood, sir.
From my side, I am telling about security and safety and energy efficiency. So coming like, if you are right now we are using MCB for a home, so it should be upgraded for RCCB. It is a human protection. So like we should for safety and security also we should install video door systems. So like that video door phones. So for security and safety and energy efficiency, so we should have green wire, so which will consumption low power. So for
that will be the focus area.
Yes.
Security, safety,
And
energy efficiency,
yes.
related skills.
Yes.
That is the focus area that we are seeing.
I suggest on energy conservation, why? Because 17% of the Indian villages doesn't have any power. So that's a point that we need to keep in mind and make sure like energy should be conserved. And what I typically mean here is, from the theme of this workshop, if electrician is a point of interest, it is in one way, and if it is in academia, student perspective, it is in another way. So like electricians, generally we say like if a switch is been spoiled, we can say like you can just replace it. So, but if the same switch has been if the same switch has been replaced over the years and he has not been updated with the latest technology, like putting some relay and make sure like it has been controllable. So there lies the question. So to make it, definitely we should have some affordable solution. So industry can make sure like in a academia, we require some textbook, they're going to give a complimentary copy. So similarly, industry can also give such kind of application, appliances, which is of a very low cost as a complementary to the institution, so that the electricians will get trained in terms of its usage. So that is what even they know the technology to usage.
So not just simulation, but also some kind of technologies which are upcoming, which will be more conservation.
They may be knowing that to put it in practice, they should have that. So for those particular things, some complementaries can be given so that they can put it in practically when they have been doing up, so that they'll get trained very effectively.
Understood, sir. Thank you, sir. So I think, kind of largely, kind of in this session, we have understood a little bit more again, industry can contribute, one from a training, simulation that can happen, which can really uplift. 3, Naipunyam portal and others can really be used in terms of looking at it. And some more hackathons and others to really bring in the deficit in knowledge or conservation areas. Thanks gentlemen for being on the panel. So nice of you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for this wonderful session on electricals and devices, evolving electrical skills from wiring to smart devices and integrated systems. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite the Commissioner of Skill Development and Training, Sri G. Ganesh Kumar IAS, to please come forward and felicitate the distinguished panelists on the dais. Firstly, Professor from KL University, Dr. S. Raviteja. And next, Dr. K. Ramesh Kumar. And next, Sabisetti Anant Garu. And next, Dr. G.V. Nagesh Kumar. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So we are moving forward for the next panel. The panel discussion on furniture and fittings. Building industry relevant skills for furniture, marking and interior fixings. I now invite panelist Managing Director, Home Decor, K. Naveen Kumar Garu. Shri K. Naveen Kumar is the Managing Director of Home Decor. In his leadership role, he is responsible for driving the company's business strategy and operations across the furniture, home decor, and interior fittings, value chain, product portfolio, customer delivery, and partner ecosystem. And I also invite, please come, sir. And I also invite the next panelist, National Manager for Saint Gobain India, Sanjeev Chaube. Sanjeev Chaube, National Manager, Saint Gobain India, lead pan-India capability building and field enablement, has enabled 10,000 plus sales and service professionals and set up at GITC, Glass Installation Training Center at St. Gobain's, Sriambedore, world-class complex to strengthen installation quality and customer outcomes at sale. And also I invite Director E&S, KPMG, Mr. Rajarshi Das Gupta, to be as the moderator for this session. And Chakravarti from Pantham Bosch Limited, with 30 years of experience in power tools and moderation technologies, trainer in Civil Engineering College, also trainer for AP and Telangana Genco. And also I invite Sanjeev Chaubegar, Saint Gobain. So we also have construction machinery session at Hall 2, construction and machinery session. So I request Managing Director VR Nirman Private Limited, Cheruvu Ramakottai Garu, and Whitson India Private Limited, Sangram Garu, and Managing Director ARDRDA, Engineering Private Limited, Aditya Vinakota Garu, CEO and Managing Panther, Sajas Venutech Engineering, Dr. S. Panduranga Prasad Garu, and the Director and CEO, Mr. Raja Pradeep KK Garu, to please proceed for the Hall 2 for construction machinery panel session. And I also invite Purna Chandra Rao Garu from Damro to please come forward for this session on furniture and fittings. So this is a session on furniture and fittings, building industry relevant skills for furniture making and interior fittings. Now I'd love to extend my mic to Mr. Rajarshi Dasgupta to act as the chair and moderator for this session.
Thank you so much. A very warm welcome to all the panelists over here. It's my true pleasure to be a moderator for this panel. So because we have some pressing for time, I'll quickly jump right away into the context and the subject, and maybe we'll do a round for your opening remarks as well. So the subject that we have today is furniture and fittings, building industry relevant skills for furniture making and interior fittings. Right, so the way things are, interiors and furniture fittings is something that gives truly an experience and makes us feel the space that we are in. A space that is there is experienced, and the immersion that happens of a certain individual is through these furniture fittings. So it is extremely important to get the design right, to get the elements of this craft right in a certain way and manner. And we have also been seeing that a lot of skill sets in this kind of line are also transforming because of the way tech enablement around us is happening. Right, so I'd like to request each one of you for about 2 to 3 minutes as your opening remarks in how you see the future aspect of the furniture fittings and the interior designing aspects of it with the kind of technology enablement that is happening around us. Sir, if you would like to start. Okay, sir, if you would like to start. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sanjeev from Saint Gobain, representing here interior glass business. And it's inspiring that we are here and talking about the glasses and interior spaces inspiring. So I believe today the atmosphere is bring the inside out. And this is where the interior spaces are becoming so critical, also to give that immersive experience to the customers. And when I look at India, especially in the glass, we are leaders and the glass is growing at a very high scale. But still, if you look at the overall India consumption, it is 1.4 kg compared to other countries that are at 7 to 8 kg per capita glass consumption. So see, the demand is huge, and the sale is drastically going up. But the skilling is having a big challenge. Why? Because when I joined this industry in 2018, I found that, okay, this curriculum also must be added by default. But it was quite surprising for me when I gone through all 450 curriculum, glass in interior spaces was not there. So then I realized that how big gap is there in between the industry and the academic or the skilling requirement. And this is where the Saint Gobain, we took ownership and we launched our own glass installation training center. So today with this initiative by AP Skill Development Council, State Development Council, I feel that this is really a great opportunity for us to join hand and bring this skill to the interior spaces, which will help not just the industry, also to customer to experience that level of, the flawless installations of all these interior products. So I definitely feel that it is a need of the hour that we must get into it along with associated with the government support as well as such academies like NAC, and it will help to take this up forward. Thank you.
Right, thank you. That was quite inspiring and informative also. Sir, what do you feel about interiors being only left as a craft, or it is now becoming more tech-enabled, design-led, and data-driven kind of a kind of a skill set? If you can share your views, sir, about it.
As you rightly mentioned, there is a shift. There is a shift how the interiors and the furniture business is happening in India and probably across the globe. So there's a massive transformation. Like earlier, the furniture business, if we are talking about the furniture business per se, it is more a manufacturer-based production. Like the designs were typical. Say, if a manufacturer has to make a chair, to give you an example, a chair always had 4 legs, a bottom panel, and a backrest. Typically, this is the design of a chair. But if you see, now it has transformed from a manufacturer-based production to design-based production. So if you see the chairs today probably will not have even 1 leg. It could be cut out from a solid block, or it could be a curvatured stuff. It could be, you can imagine any kind of design, and those are already in place. And with the AI and the other designing models coming in place, a lot of further transformation is also happening in this business. And you cannot ignore this business, because this shift also means that our traditional art, our traditional handicraft people, who were the artisans who were making this, are probably losing their job as well, which also means something to the Indian GDP and the Indian industry. So, and you cannot ignore this industry, because the size of the market, if we are talking just about the loose furniture, we are not talking about the other interior products, just the loose furniture alone is estimated to have a market size of 4 lakh crores in India. And we are talking about the consumption, not the production. The consumption is about 4 lakh crores, and which is poised to grow at about 12 to 15% per annum. So this is an industry where, government should definitely have a focus and also try to give some boost to the Indian industry. I would, in the later part of the discussion, I'll tell you my suggestions, what it would be, which the government can take up.
Right, thank you so much, sir. That's a very interesting point you've made about the traditional craftsmanship. Maybe I'll come back to that point of yours that you've made. But just to move on, sir, we have seen the massive urbanization that is happening around in our country. It is not only about buying a home or an office, it is also about a lot to do with the interiors. And the way interiors, like in fashion technology, the way fashion changes, interior designing has also been changing very, very rapidly, right, over the course of time. So from an academic or a skilling point of view, sir, how do you see this change to happen, and how does academia keep pace with this massive kind of transition that is happening, that is going on?
Good evening, everybody. I am Raju from Damro Furniture. Actually, ours is a MNC based at Sri Lanka. Now our maximum operations from India only. We are actually we are observing since 20 years the market mainly shifting unorganized sector to organized sector. So for this, lot of opportunities coming, because even the old traditional carpenters also, they have to equip with well equipped new age tools. Now actually whatever the designing part as well as quality of the materials day by day increasing. So they have to update up to that new paneling systems as well as new designing and new color combinations as well as new structural interior parts they have to study. Otherwise actually that our main threat is online kitchens or online furniture is main threat, because they know what to sell, how to sell. For that platform, we require a lot of digital marketing as well as designing engineers as well as crafted industries. We are lacking of in India. That part we have a lot of opportunities, and that main threat is that day by day, whatever the raw material we are using now, that one actually fastly changing. So now wood is a solution earlier, but it is 100% not a solution nowadays, because we are getting a lot of engineered woods, which is repellent of water as well as termite and pest. Those kind of new era technologies coming up with the raw material. So we have to study the things, and we have to, while spending and while doing that furniture or interior works, we have to take care of this all new era changes, because once in a lifetime only anybody will buy furniture 2-3 times maximum, and one time he will do the interior part. So that time he have to use right material, otherwise whatever he invests now, that actually he feels that waste in within 1 or 2 years. So my kind advice is to government to make skill set of people for this industry, and from our company side whatever help we can do, we will extend from our side. Thank you, sir.
Right, sir. So that's a very important point you made about emerging practices. So I'll come back to you, sir, on that point. So going back to you about the traditional craftsmanship that you mentioned that this is kind of changing. Do you see this to be completely obsolete going forward, or there is a way on how you can revive the indigenous or the traditional skill sets, in craftsmanship, in that craft of furniture making, or is there some kind of a future that it would have, given that these days the demand is more from a prefabricated kind of a, artwork or design kind of an element being there in demand as of now?
In the unorganized sector, there are lots of craftsmanship, especially in carpentry and woodworking. So the onus of protecting this talent and the craftsmanship lies on all of us. See, for instance, there is a village called, I'm recollecting an incident which happened, say, about 20 years back. There is a small village near Tenali called Jampani, which has a huge cluster of carpenters. Their main activity and their expertise is in carving main doors. If you see the main doors, they used to carve, hand crafted. They used to take about a month or so to make a main door carved. And they used to give, it could be a goddess picture or anything else. Whatever you can imagine, you can let them know or show them a picture. They would be able to do it. So in those days, they used to charge about 75,000 per each door, the wood and the carving. The wood probably is not 75,000. The carving cost is a major component of it. Then later, the Chinese CNC routers have come. So in about an hour, they can carve and give, which a craftsman was doing for about 30 days. So the relative cost of this is much lower. And they were able to give that, including the wood and the carving, was costing less than 10,000. So if these people are left without business, the next generation wouldn't learn it, or even they would move to another trade. So what we have done, we have given them a hand router. With a CNC router, it should have a prefix design embedded in the computer system. They'll be able to do it. Suppose if I draw a picture and give it to you, probably the CNC guy wouldn't be able to do it unless they have that software with them. So any goddess picture, anything, these guys used to pencil sketch it on the wood and used to carve it with hand. With a hand router, what we have given, I think this is of Bosch make, a Bosch hand router, the work which they were doing in about 30 days, they were finishing in 5 days. So their cost has come down, their labor and fatigue has come down, and the customer's benefit is also quite adequate because the price also has come down. So there are different ways how you can still protect the culture, the art, and also give them some livelihood by getting the tools, whatever are available, with which they can work on with a much reduced cost.
Right, interesting. That's a quite interesting insight that you gave. I'd like to move on to the next panelist, sir. So you would have heard about the national education kind of plan that is there, and there's a concept over there called vocationalization of school education and higher secondary kind of education. So do you see the sector of furniture fittings and interior design also be able to be brought into that school kind of a sector where this can be given out as an optional subject, as a vocational trade, which is now happening in some other sectors. I'm not sure if it's happening in the furniture fitting sector, but do you see that at a, let's say, a level 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of an NSQF, if that could be kind of brought into the school sector, and if there is any merit in doing that?
Yeah, sure. As per my information, it is already there. The carpentry skill also is available in the vocational institute as on today. What I would like to more emphasize on bringing that RPL concept which Ganesh sir and Kona sir was mentioning in the morning. Because today, if like in AP, sir was saying morning, 18 lakh people are there who are skilled. If we train those 18 lakh people in 5 more skills, so we will have 18 into 5. Close to 90 lakh people having multi-skill. So we need to go out and look out for the skilled people. There are people who are skilled already in one or the other segment. If we bring them in some incentivizing throughout the government, because government can do that with various training program and funding them to that to encourage them to learn more and more skills, then it can add values. Vocational, of course, it is there and it is helping people to learn along with the academic, but bringing that RPL concept is really a good idea. Like if I look at today, the people whom we are getting for glass installation, they are not just doing glass. They are already doing some or the other hardware installation, maybe even carpenters also. They are willing to join the bath fitting people. They are also learning the glass and they are joining the hands with the glass installation. So bringing RPL concept through the government initiative can help a lot. And AP itself, we will have 90 lakh people trained who are ready. So we will be definitely ready to help in that building curriculum and associating with that, and it will help people in an immediate way. So that's the way forward I look to this.
Right, so that's an interesting point. So if I may just ask you, all right, so if I can just come back to you, sir, over here. If there is any kind of a emerging practice, so you said there were a lot of emerging practices that were happening in the sector. So from a modular, let's say, furniture perspective or from a tech enablement perspective, what kind of emerging practices do you see coming up in the sector in the near future?
Actually, that our traditional concept is rosewood, teakwood, and all other kinds of wood, sesame wood. Those things actually nowadays also people preferring, but when comes the point of that interior decoration part, these woods we can't actually molding them to our requirement is very expensive. That is the reason actually new age this particle board, MDF, and fiber wood, different kinds of our recycled mechanism of wood coming up. Actually, particle board is, for example, I'm telling, wooden particle boards we are making up of that used as well as waste of that actually that straw or as well as that main stem of that wood, and outer layer also we can use. So entire almost 90% of the total tree once we cut from the land actually we can use. Whereas if you take the example of carpentry work, only 40% will be waste and 60% will be we are using for our purpose. So actually, because of this government new policy and that environmental safety also, that new era of foods are coming up. So government also giving lot of subsidies to encourage this kind of raw materials, and this is also good and as well as eco-friendly for our future generations, and which are recyclable. That is the main advantage of this wood. And thing is the longevity also almost around 20-25 years we can use this material, because these woods, wooden particles are made up with of glues and resins and as well as chemicals, so that it won't affect that pest, termite or any other. It will be also some part of water resistant also, and we can make into the small designs as well as bigger panels also we can do as per our requirement, and that molding, cutting, edge binding, as well as sealing of this wood is important factor, and a lot of new age technologies came, so that automated machines, they will bind within a day around 300 to 400 units of furniture without any actually any mechanical mistake or any manufacturing mistake, so that that durability also good. And thing is, for these kind of things, we require a lot of skilled people to make boring, edge binding, and as well as doing that boring as well as some few technical things they can do, and that furniture also we can more actually we can introduce to our lower as well as middle class of our segment, because our consumptions are more at that point of economic class, so that we are able to supply those kind of manpowers and get that economical furniture, so that we can penetrate the market and that whatever new our aim is there, no, to save our globe. That is possible through that new age technologies. We have to give training as well as lot of youngsters who are completing that degree, something MBA, something anything. They have to go to some kind of skill development, so that their future as well as and Indian economy also will be benefited by these kind of new acts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Now, I'll just come to one of my favorite topics about this thing called AI. Right? Without AI, I don't think there's any panel that can happen. So, sir, in this furniture fittings kind of a sector, I'll probably ask each one of you about your 2 minutes of time in this one. What kind of disruption do you feel that's going to come in the next 5 to 10 years, or maybe even lesser, like even 3 to 5 years time, with an AI perspective, as far as furniture fittings or interior designing is concerned?
AI is going to make a lot of disruption in terms of interiors and furniture, and all this, I'm sure, is for good. I don't think this AI is going to disrupt adversely in the interiors, because AI would help in the designing, in the planning, and probably when a designer does some designing, he wouldn't have foreseen what could be the consequence in any other ways for this design. But the AI, since it collects a lot of data, probably it can suggest something how the design can be improved. So AI disruption in this industry is welcome, according to me. And when you're talking about these disruptions and the emerging trends, with a lot of urbanization that is happening, the typical designs wouldn't work anymore. There is a space constraint, so the designs have to be made considering the space availability. Then the ergonomics, which was not a famous topic in India earlier. Today, even our furnitures are designed according to ergonomics, the comfort, the luxury. All these are considered, and AI definitely is going to play a major role in this. So probably which, with our experience, which we wouldn't have foreseen earlier, the designers wouldn't have seen, that AI is going to definitely suggest. And yep, that's it.
So I think what you're seeing are the positives of AI. So if I just move on to the next panelist, do you see any negative aspects of AI happening in terms of job loss, in terms of discontinuance of a certain competency which is there in as on date in this sector, which AI will come and transform completely?
Okay, so asking this negative is little tough for me because I'm too much optimistic. So I look at always the positive side of it. But however, I don't see any challenge because of AI in the skilling part. Today we are not a DIY concept. We are completely dependent on the skilled people to get smallest installation done in our home. So for us to be afraid of AI will take another 20 years in skilling, I will believe. Because first the skilling has to come to that level, then it will go to the AI driven skilling. But yes, I see the positive side of AI coming in this is the lot of training can be done AI driven. Because like we are seeing the train the trainer concepts. So today the classroom can be driven by AI driven lectures, you know, the AI characters can be instructor and they can deliver the modules in much more sophisticated way. So they learn, and multilingual. Today suppose if I design one module, it can be provided, you know, probably in English, Tamil, maybe Hindi or some other language. With AI we can design those curriculum in more than 14, 15, 16 languages, whatever possible. So in India, AI has an immense impact on a positive side, I believe. So let's keep looking on the positive side as of now.
I like the positivity from you. Thank you so much. So what is your take on this one, sir?
My take is actually, as a fast moving and as well as growing AI as well as all other parts of scientific as well as environmental and all fast moving technologies. Actually, we have to look forward to make skilled people from our AP, whoever IITs, Polytechnical, whoever actually left the organizations without any jobs, we have to make them depending upon their talent, we have to give training and we have to give that placements in whatever that organized sector we discussed about 20 minutes now. We have to give some opportunities from our company side also. If anything required, our company is ready to provide some kind of skill development assistance from our company. Thanks, sir.
Right, sir. From a policy enablement perspective, because we all know the government plays a very, very important role in this entire industry, academia, skilling, gap kind of a thing. So what is it that you feel that a government should probably bring in if in case of any policy level interventions in order to ensure that the skilled workforce or the skill levels of the workforce in this sector is increased?
So from the government side, definitely to protect the art and the craftsmanship, they have to enable them with the modern tools. For example, whatever imported goods we have, imported furniture we get, they can also be handcrafted much more beautifully. So to do that, the government has to support them with some kind of machinery, because all these are unorganized sector, and for sure they'll not be able to invest on machines. May not be very expensive, but hand tools, some handheld portable power tools, which can make beautiful finishes and contours. This will definitely help them to sustain in their business, number one. Number two, we have very poor availability of raw material, good quality raw material in India. Government has to focus on improving the manufacturing facilities and making them available here. Number three, government has taken one step in this direction with at least a good intent by getting in BIS norms. I don't know how many of you are aware, but in furniture industry as well, there is a government body called BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, which is devised to give some quality certifications and before anything is sold to the consumers in India. So if, just like an ISI, if it is also BIS certified, it means that it assures some kind of quality level. But BIS, I feel, is more used to stop the imports, the Chinese imports, which is draining our foreign exchange, or probably is also causing a great damage to the Indian industry. So BIS, instead of just stopping the imports, should be made, to make sure that Indian industry also ramps up its quality. That would help the industry rather than just merely stopping the imports. And also they have to make sure that the cost of production in India is lesser, so that the reason why all the furniture business is going to China is because the cost. You get it at, say, 30% of the price what you pay in India for a good quality furniture. So why is that happening? Wherever government needs to intervene and encourage and make sure that the cost of production comes down here, either be it subsidizing or giving some tax reliefs, that has to be done until the industry is protected and stabilized here. These are the few things probably which the government can do. Yeah.
Right, so thank you so much. This sector has also known to have a lot of informal workforce that is not trained in a certain way and manner. However, they are kind of there from an employment perspective. Now, I know there are these things called RPL kind of interventions which are there to kind of bring them into the formalized workforce, but still there's some kind of a resistance there, because they feel that once they get certified, the companies feel that they might have to, pay them more. So this is a mindset problem probably, but do you have any kind of a action point that you think that could be kind of brought into this to change the mindset? Anyone? So I'll go with you first, right?
Yeah, sure. So Maybe you are saying this from your experience, but I have seen in, because I have come from different industries. So industries never bothered about paying money to the skilled people, and they are not bothered that they will lose. Because any industry who's at scale and looking for any developmental scope, they always think of the market. If I train 5 people, if 3 goes, still 2 are serving, and those 3 are also going to develop the market. So that's how industry sees to any of the development of the skill part of it. However, when it comes to the government, of course, because government certification always have more value compared to any private certification. So in that case, what I feel, the curriculum improvement or improvement has to be very quick, and it has to be launched with all the flexible points possible to be incorporated, because industry in the tech, as sir is mentioning rightly, is changing very drastically. So that has to be taken care of from the government point of view. The thirdly, the infrastructure which is being built today, it is not just possible with the industry alone. If I'll talk about one small incident, what we took as an initiative in Saint-Gobain, we started taking Bluetooth measurements, and that one device cost close to 10,000 rupees. Now, if I need to train 100 people, that investment just for one region. So in that way, government should be supporting industries to, build those high-tech labs where the Bosch tools, no need to go anywhere else. Bosch tools has all those developed tools, can be used and given to that laboratories where we train people and enable them. So tools rely with the government. The people will get benefited. They will get skilled at the next level. Today, the change in that skill development is very slight. I would say it is, if they are at scale of 5, they will go to 7. They will not reach out to the 10. Whereas when the people from across the world, they visit our training centers, they feel we are way behind. In the morning, gentleman was talking, I will not name it here in the form. He was saying somebody came from foreign delegation, he was checking the skill set of our team, the installation people. They did one particular installation in 45 minutes. Whereas on the other hand, there was a gentleman who was 60 plus years. He did the same installation in 20 minutes. So it shows we are skilled, but are we skilled enough to beat the world and beat the pace of the world and innovation changing at that level? That's a question mark which government should address, that, okay, we are there to support you to build that pace. I'm sure there are a lot of investment coming from government. I was there in one of the Tamil Nadu skill development council like this. So there something was talked about PM Setu, where there are a lot of initiatives are being taken care of. So I'm sure center has equal part to AP and everywhere. So we can explore how we can bring that investment to develop the tech-oriented part towards the lab. So that will help from the government point of view. Yeah, thank you.
Right, thank you so much. I think that actually brings us to the end of our time. I would like to thank each one of you for your invaluable kind of inputs that you have given. So thank you so much. I think this conversation has been quite an eye-opener in terms of the kind of trades and the kind of skill sets that are being brought into this this sector, and the role that AI would play positively. And there's no negativity about it. It's something that is something that I would take as a take back from the session. Thank you, everybody. Thank you once again.
Just to add one point about the certification thing. I think how it could be implemented is if the government could mandate the corporates and the industries to employ the people with